Good evening, everybody. We'll start with research methods today, as we are taking two subjects in a week. So today's we'll do cognitive lifespan, and today's we'll do research. So ठीक है, we'll start with research. Since it is entirely or completely new for some, we'll go a little slow in the first day today. As you are little acquainted to what we'll be covering under this, I think from next class onwards or from tomorrow onwards, we can be little fast. Okay. So सबसे पहले what we have to study under research is, let's say you want to, what is the scope of the study? I want to actually elaborate on that. So let's say you want to discover something. Okay, so just let's go by the word itself, research. So there already has been some, you can say, curiosity or fascination about a particular concept or about a particular topic. But then, yes, it is not yet scientifically proved or scientifically dug into. So, therefore, we want to conduct a research on it, which is systematic, which is scientific, and which will also give us a result that can be replicated by others. Okay. So, by research, re means again, and search means to discover. So, we are actually trying to rediscover any facet or any any dimension or any scope of study, etc. Okay, so that what is basically research. Now, before we go to research, I would just want to say how we are going to cover this is, wherever we are going to find out some difficult words or some words which actually need some explanation. Okay, so there I'm going to pause and I'm just going to explain it to you. Please, whenever I'm trying to explain, just write down or make a note. If not now, at least when you're listening to the recording, please make note of at least the examples. Okay, because since it's a new subject for you, बहुत चीज आप बस एग्जाम्पल से ही ज्यादा बेहतर समझेंगे. ओके, सो ठीक है, with that I had to tell. So now we start. The first topic that we are going to take is definition and meaning of research. So as I told you, it's composed of two words, that is re and search. So basically it is rediscovering. Okay, rediscovering, examining closely, or trying to see something very carefully. Okay, testing it, verifying it. Okay, probing about it. All this comes under research. Now, as you can see, it is also, there is another word which talks of, it is an objective study. Okay, so now here we are going to pick up each word. Okay, so first word that we are going to take now is objective. I'm going to write each word, you also write it down, because if you include these words in your answers or assignment answers, it is actually going to fetch you more marks. Okay, so first is, let's first write scientific. Okay, so scientific, the first word is scientific, second word is systematic, third word is objective, yes, so just write this: scientific, um, then systematic and objective. Okay, so what is scientific here? Scientific basically means when you are trying to conduct a particular study, or you're trying to conduct a particular search or a particular research also, which through a proper set of guidelines or rules. Okay, you cannot deviate, and whatever is prescribed or whatever is finalized by you or finalized by any authority, that is how you're going to follow it that way. Okay, so that is scientific. Okay, which is actually governed by a set of rules or procedures or guidelines, etc. What is systematic? Systematic again means it has to come through a particular hierarchy or a particular stage, etc. Now, what is the difference between scientific and systematic here is, scientific has to be based on rules, but also we also need to have some evidence of it, that it has worked in previously, so it will work. Also, it has to be, it is very, very you can say logical, okay, in scientific. Systematic means it is just following step-by-step procedure. Then objective. So what do you mean by objective? But again, to understand objective, we have to understand another word, that is subjective. Okay. Oh, I got a message. We were to continue lifespan. Yes, we were to continue lifespan, but then since many students had requested that we take up two subjects, simultaneously, therefore we shifted to research. Okay. So yes, where was I? Subjective. Okay. So what is subjective? See, subject here, at least in psychology, it means subject means a person um, on whom you are conducting the experiment. Okay. So what do you mean by subjective while you are talking about research is your own personal opinion or your own personal feelings is subjective. Like suppose I ask you, how did you or what do you feel about what do you feel about let's say this event? Okay, suppose there is a science exhibition and I ask you, what do you feel about this event? So if you say that okay, this it's very good, we have so many things on display, and it has tried to cover everything, it has tried to touch every dimension, and but I still feel it could have been much better, and this and that. This is very subjective. But if I ask you, what do you think about this, and you give me in terms of a marking, okay, like okay, this exhibition or this thing should get 8 out of 10. So it's very very objective, you're actually quantifying. Okay, so if you can quantify things, that is very objective. If subjective is your own personal opinion and etc. So let's say MCQs would be like objective, and long answers or open-ended questions, those will be like subjective. Okay, so research is very objective. Research does not have any place for any bias. It does not have any place for subjective opinions. It does not have any place for personal point of views. Whatever, when we are doing a research, whatever conclusion we get, or whatever, let's say, we have found out in the research, that is what we are going to consider. I just cannot say that let's say I conducted a research and I wanted to see whether this health drink is useful for children between 7 years to 10 years. And suppose let's say that health drink company के जो भी let's say boss हैं, और let's say the person जिसकी company है, he happens to be my friend. और जब हम हमारे पास रिजल्ट आया तो हमने देखा कि कोई कंसिडरेबल इन्फ्लुएंस या कोई कंसिडरेबल डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो रहा है. ओके फ्रेंड्स, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Yes, sorry friends, yes. So we were talking about just yes, suppose let's say I want to find out the effect of a health drink on children, let's say from 7 years to 10 years, okay, and the health drink is actually from a company which is of my friends, but let's say I carried out a study and I found out that the health drink is not that helpful, okay, or it does not have any considerable influence or development on these children, but I cannot be subjective, and I cannot have any bias that since this belongs to my friend, so I'll write that yes, it does have some effect. So these things are not at all encouraged in research, and we are not supposed to be doing it also. Okay. So apart from that, there is another word which we should know. It is known as replicable. Okay. So just write this down. Replicable. So what does replicable means? Replicable means to repeat. Okay. So let's say I conducted a research, I conducted a study, and I get an answer, or I get a conclusion, or I get a solution. If it is a correct research and if it has been done scientifically, systematically, and objectively, then even if you conduct the research, it will also give you the same answer. Okay. So we can actually replicate it, or we can actually reproduce it, or we can actually repeat it, right? But if any research, you have done some research, but let's say it has given you that your hypothesis or whatever you thought it will yield, that has come out, but then when I am doing the research, it's not happening, so it is not a good research. Now let me give you an example. Let me write this thing. There was a research, there were many studies on subliminal perception. Okay. So what is subliminal perception? Okay. Subliminal perception. So what is limen? Limen means boundary, which is the threshold. Let's say, if I ring a bell, uh, maximum you can hear it, let's say 100 feet की दूरी पे आप उसको सुन सकते हैं. लेकिन अगर 101 फीट भी हो जाती है तो आप उसको नहीं सुन पाएंगे. So 100 feet is the limen, or 100 feet is the boundary within which you can listen or hear the sound of the bell. Okay. But but uh, there was a researcher who claimed that there are some messages, अगर हम उसको परसेप्शन के थ्रेशोल्ड से नीचे भी फ्लैश करें या सब्जेक्ट को प्रोड्यूस करें, तो सब्जेक्ट उसको परसीव करता है और उसके बेसिस पे एक्ट करता है. So how does it happen? Suppose he carried out a study and he told that अगर this what was the study? People in the cinema hall, उनके नीचे स्क्रॉलिंग गया कि ड्रिंक कोक करके. Okay, enjoy the movie, drink Coca-Cola, enjoy the movie, drink Coca-Cola, enjoy the movie, and it was flashed for very few seconds, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, something like this. So then he claimed कि जब ये messages flash हुए, so people actually got into buying more coke. Okay. Now this carried on for many years, after which so many जो psychologists थे, they tried to replicate this study. उन्होंने भी यही same चीज replicate किया, but they did not find out the same conclusion. Okay. कहीं पे भी कोक के जो purchases थे वो बढ़े नहीं. So then this researcher who actually carried out this study on subliminal perception, he was asked that how is it that your study is not being able to be replicated, and then he came out and he admitted that this itself was a fake study. The study was never conducted, and it was a hoax that was going on. Okay. So a good research to be good, or a research to be considered good, it has to be replicated as well. Okay. Just one moment. Yes. Okay. Now let's go to the next subtopic, that is criteria of good research. So what are the criteria of good research? Number one, when you are about to begin, or when you want to start your research, you should have a purpose that why you are doing this research. And that purpose has to be very clearly defined, that this is the reason I want to do a research. There's a many people I have also seen in my during my university days, the people who used to let's say come from other countries, let's say from Iran, or from Japan and other Australia, all those people used to come to as foreign students to our university. They always used to have a comparative study, like let's say effect of prayer in Indians versus effect of prayer in Iranians, suppose, huh? या फिर something else, cancer. How do people of India react to cancer, and how do people of Iran react to cancer, and what are the defense mechanisms they use, etc., etc. So now these are the comparative studies. So here, what is the purpose? The purpose is to know how a single event can actually be looked upon, or how does it affect people of various cultures, or how the reaction to it, or the management to it is actually divided globally or on a global scale. Okay, so this is the purpose, and this was very clearly defined. Okay, and what is the next criteria of good research? That whatever procedure you are following, or the way you will conduct the research, that has to be precisely planned, and it has to be focused upon well, and it has to be appropriately described. Okay, so this is the second criteria. What is the third criteria? The third criteria is whatever research design we are going to take up. So when we are going to study about research design, we'll do this in detail. But suppose they are saying if you want to take up a research design, so research designs can be many. Let me give you a very simple research design. Suppose आपको ये find out करना है कि this health drink is useful or not. तो आप बच्चों को दो बैचेस में डिवाइड कर लो, सब चीजें कांस्टेंट रख लो, एज कांस्टेंट रख लो, हेल्थ भी नॉर्मली या फिर वेट आसपास कंट्रोल रख लो, फ्री फ्रॉम डिजीजेस वो फैक्टर कंट्रोल रख लो. देन व्हाट यू डू, you divide them into two groups. एक को आप health drink दो और एक को आप health drink नहीं दो. And then after a month, you see if there has been any considerable change in the overall immunity levels, or let's say height, or let's say weight, etc. This is one design. Otherwise, what you can do, you can take the same group of students, give them health drink for 1 week or for 1 month, and then measure the changes, and then don't give them anything for 1 month and then measure the changes. This is another design. Okay, so similarly kuch research designs there we study. So for a criteria for a good research, the research design also has to be carefully planned. Apart from that, the research का जो research report जो होगी, that has to be very very honest, and that has to be very very you can say very very accurate. Okay, we are not supposed to do any manipulation there, या फिर हमने तो जो research किया, whatever we were expecting to find out we didn't find out, so let us write one line there, and just manage it somehow. So all that is not allowed. Okay, whatever your research report says, it has to be very honest. Then data analysis. If you are going to apply statistics, whatever data you will get, you have to analyze that very very correctly, and also very honestly. Many a times data is also fudged. Okay, data is also manipulated. That should not be done. And last, the validity and reliability of the data, also of the measuring instrument, or of the measure of whatever your measurement scale is there, that also has to be very very correct. Okay, the reliability and validity, that will be doing in a separate chapter. Apart from that, they are saying what are the objectives of good research. Okay, so see, basically the first and foremost objective of a good research is to find out the hidden truth, or to discover the hidden truth which originally was not done scientifically. Now many a times we might just tell ऐसे on guesswork, या फिर on a hunch कि ऐसा होता होगा, या फिर आप खुद रिसर्च करके देख लो, यही निकलेगा, यही आंसर मिलेगा आपको. But see, that we are telling based on an intuition. It is not scientifically proven, or we have not conducted any studies. Right? So this is one thing, that it has to discover the truth. Now, what are the other objectives? Other objectives is we have to gain familiarity with a phenomenon, with a concept, and in this process we'll achieve new insights into that topic. Okay, let's say we did not know what are the, let's say we were trying to study the effects of health drinks, or maybe let's say various health drinks, 2 to 3 health drinks. जब हमने 2 to 3 health drinks पे actually research किया and हमने study conduct किया, we found out, suppose a component called XY, example के तौर पे बता रही हूँ, suppose a component XY or an ingredient XY which is common to all three makes children very very irritated. तो वो हमको पहले पता नहीं था, but while we were doing this research, we actually came to know that a component called XY is used in health drinks, is used in cornflakes, is used in, let's say, some other food that children consume regularly, and that is the reason for their increased irritability nowadays. Okay, so increased irritability nowadays, right? So this is what the new insight that you got. One more. Yes. Next is we have to portray the characteristics of the individual or of the situation or of the group. So when we are conducting a research, this has to be portrayed very accurately. Okay. And third is to determine the frequency with the frequency of occurrence. What is frequency? Frequency means the number or the repeated number. Let's say I will say that its frequency is high. That means its time of occurring or time of occurrence or the happening is very very common or it increases. Okay, let's say I would say that earlier when I let's say I'm just giving an example. Let's say earlier when I didn't have an air conditioner at home, visitors were quite less to my house, but now the frequency has increased. That means now I'm getting more visitors. Okay, so number of time the occurrence happened, that is known as the frequency. Okay. So research actually helps us determine the frequency of how often something occurs. Okay, and last is to test a hypothesis. So hypothesis, if please write this word, this will occur again. The frequency of hypothesis, you getting familiar to the word hypothesis very high. So just write hypothesis. So what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is a provisional supposition. Okay. So or an assumption. So you think that this might have happened. Okay. And basing on this, you will conduct your research. Suppose I say that my hypothesis is that all those who study beyond 12 o'clock actually don't remember what they study. This is my hypothesis. Or forgetting is more for material or forgetting is more for the topic that is studied beyond 12. Okay, so this is my hypothesis. I actually carry out the research, or I actually carry out a small study, and then I see that yes, actually this happens, then my hypothesis is confirmed. If I find out that no, people do remember what they have studied because I conducted a study, and then at 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever they have studied beyond 12 o'clock, I give them a questionnaire, or I conduct a small test, and I see that they have actually remembered and they've actually got done well on the test. Let's say they have scored 60%. So I would say that no, actually my hypothesis is wrong here. People do remember. Okay. So this is what is hypothesis. Now, next we come to what are the qualities of a good research. So what are the qualities? So number one is a good research is systematic. As I told you, it is very well structured. It is followed as per some rules, per some stages, or if it has to, it's very step by step. So that is systematic. You have to first collect the sample. First, you have to read the literature. Then you have to actually formulate a research questions. Then you have to have your hypothesis. It actually goes in a very stepwise way. Okay, so that is why good research is systematic. Then second is good research is empirical. So what is empirical? Empirical means, I'll just write down the word empirical. So what is empirical? Empirical means which is based on evidence. मतलब हम ऐसे भी कुछ भी नहीं बोल सकते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है आप रिसर्च करो आपको यही मिलेगा, या फिर मुझे तो लगता है कि यही हुआ होगा, ऐसा होता है. We can't say like this. We'll actually prove and we'll show. तो sometimes अगर आप webinar में भी देखते होंगे, I find out some previous research and I tell you, basing on this, people will be happy or people are not happy, or happiness rises with age, or happiness rises with income, or happiness rises or happiness differs, or there is a change, happiness and gender are related or not. Okay, so people actually conduct study and they come to these conclusions. Then next is good research should be valid and verifiable. What is valid and verifiable? It means you can verify it. अगर आप उसको दोबारा से भी conduct करो, if you yourself are conducting it again, you can verify it whether it is true or not. Let's suppose I'll tell you is that we took a hypothesis that after 12 a.m. people can't remember things. Suppose your hypothesis was wrong, that means people did remember things. So अगर आप अगले दिन भी you do that same exercise, people will remember things. So you can actually verify whatever you have found out, it is true or not. Okay. Then good research is logical. What does it mean by logical? That whatever we are trying to find out, it is meaningful and it will contribute to the society at large. ऐसा नहीं कि you will find out any nonsense and you will tell that I have done a research. Okay, whatever you are trying to find out, it has to contribute to a larger interest. It should contribute to the society. It should contribute to humanity at large. मान लीजिए you are doing a research on some topic which actually will have no value. Suppose you are trying to do a research on whether it is good to drink water from a plastic bottle or from a glass. Now this actually does not make much difference, okay, because it is very much a personal choice. Okay, जिसको जो जिसमें पीना पसंद है वो वैसे ही पिएगा. Your research will not make much of a difference. But if you are trying to find out that how much water one should drink in a day to lead a healthy or healthy life, or to have a or to build immunity, or to flush out toxins from the body. Now this is very helpful. By what mode you are drinking may not be that helpful, but how much to drink, at what duration to drink, how to drink. Again, how to drink also will matter, because many people actually gulp down water too fast. Now that is an inappropriate way of drinking water. We must drink water sip by sip. We must never stand and drink water. We should always sit down and drink water. Again, we should not drink water which is too high in temperature or too cold, or let's say too cold or too hot. Now these things, if you are doing research on this, makes some sense. Okay, so whatever the good research has to be very logical as well. Then good research will develop theories and principles. Definitely, if you have found out something and that is for the better interest or larger interest for humankind, then definitely आगे जाके you can build up your theory on it also. जैसे मान लीजिए you conducted a good research on how to drink water or when to drink water, and then you found out that water actually water can do wonders for you. Okay, so let's say it keeps you healthy, it strengthens your immunity system, it helps it helps to restore the oxygen balance in your brain, which is why it does not let you be lazy. It actually improves your sleeping pattern, it actually improves your thinking. Let's say it also you can say it also helps in digestion of food, etc., etc. Okay, so now if you have done so much of research and so much of study on how to drink water properly or when to drink water, etc., so now you can develop a theory on it, that if you drink water properly, then your body will show these good it will show these good signs. Okay, so then you develop a theory on it, or you are developing a principle on it. Okay, so this is how a good research will actually help in formulation of theories and principles. And lastly, a good research is replicable. So what do you mean by replicable? By replicable, we mean that even if you don't repeat it, but somebody, just one more. Yes, friends. So research is replicable. What does it mean by replicable? Suppose you have conducted a research and you have found out a conclusion or you have found out a solution for whatever research, for whatever reason you are carrying out the research. Now, even if I do it, I'll also get the same answer. So let's take a very common example. Let's think of like this. Somebody would have, carried out a study or a research and would have found out that two atoms of hydrogen plus one atom of oxygen will give us water. Now, see, if the same thing is followed in the correct process anywhere in the world, it will give you water only. So it is a very good research and it is replicable, right? Suppose, let's say, you are doing a research on that violence is detrimental to the mental health of children. If you have conducted this research properly and if it is replicated in any culture, in any society, in any part of the world, it will give you the same results. Okay, so that is what we mean by research is replicable. Now next we come to a research process. What are the basic considerations that we need to see? So first is context of discovery. So सबसे पहले we have to know that what and in what context we are trying to do the research or we are trying to do a certain discovery. So the context or the background situation is very much important. Okay, so that is number one. Then number two, they are saying that researchers actually believe in determinism. Okay, so just write this word determinism. So what is determinism? Determinism is where you can determine what has caused this. Okay, so where causal relationship can be known, where the cause and effect relationship can be found out. That is determinism, or that is determining factors, or you can say deterministic study or whatever like that. Okay, so now researchers will actually look for these cause and effect relationship because it is easier for them to determine what has led to a particular event or what has led to a particular study, etc. Okay, now they're saying in psychology, why research is important. In psychology, research is important because it gives us a basic idea about how brain, mind, behavior, environment, all of this is interlinked, and what effect one can have on the other, how they are interrelated. Okay, or how change in one can lead to change in the other. Let's say your okay, I'll just tell you about direct relation and inverse relation. What is direct relation and inverse relation? Direct is one. Okay. Sorry, where was I? Yes. So what was I was talking about direct relation and inverse relation. So what is direct relation? Increase in one will lead to the increase in other. So let's say if you study more, you get more marks. Okay. Let's say we have done a research, or let's say there is a relation like this. If you study more, you get more marks. So this is this is a direct relation. What is an inverse relation? More the heat, less you are comfortable. So if it is a very high temperature, you are more comfortable, sorry, you are less comfortable in it. Okay, so if both of them go up or go down together, it is direct. If one goes up, one comes down, or one comes down and one goes up, that is an inverse thing. Okay, now they are saying that psychology mein why research is important, because these direct relations and inverse relations, then what are the relationships, etc., of the mind and of the brain, of environment, etc. To study that, research is very, very important. Then they are talking about hypothesis, and they are saying a hypothesis is also tentative or provisional, and it is a testable explanation, or you can say it is something that we have created on an assumption that this may come out to be true, this may come out to be false. Okay, so hypothesis, we are using hypothesis here. And last way, they're talking of a paradigm. So just write this word, paradigm. So what is a paradigm? Paradigm is basically a model of the functions and interrelationships of process. Okay, so it is basically like a matrix, or like, let's say, a system. Suppose we say that, basing on this paradigm, this course will be structured. Okay, so we have taken few things as the scope, and basing on that only we can design it. Okay, so that is the paradigm or the basic model. Okay, so they are saying these are the role of theories, hypotheses, and paradigms in psychological researches. Then they come to a very important thing that is known as research biases. Okay, we'll just write it. Research bias. Now we have 3-4 types of biases. Number one is external influence. So what is external influence? External influence is you are trying to conduct a research, but particular culture, or let's say media, or let's say some superstitions, etc., they can actually bias your study. Okay, um, let's say you are trying to study the effect of, let's say, the effect of dreams. Okay, the effect of dreams on one's personality. Now, in some cultures, they don't openly talk about dreams because they think that dreams are very sacred. Okay, especially in tribal cultures. In some tribal cultures, you'll see they don't talk of dreams that often because they think that it is a very sacred thing, and it is not to be shared. Okay, so let's say you will have some subjects who actually believe in this, so they can actually not the data that you will get may not be very accurate. Okay, they might themselves try to hide some personal details, or they might just not express all the dreams that they have seen, etc., etc. Okay, so this is an external influence. Also, sometimes external influence, you can also have other things like the lighting. Then you can have the you can say lighting, humidity, etc., etc. These are also external variables which can actually affect your study. Okay. The next is a personal bias. Personal bias means you as an individual, okay, you don't want to consider something because you are having a bias. Let's say you are a vegetarian and you are trying to conduct a study on food habits of children for increasing immunity. Suppose you also have to include egg in there and chicken in there, and you yourself think that no, these are not good, but your study shows that no, they're actually good for, let's say, good for the child. But then, since your personal bias, or you personally don't feel that it will work, you try to minimize its effect, or you actually undermine its effect while writing your report. Okay, so that is a personal bias. Then next we come to observer bias. What is observer bias? While you are conducting the research and you are observing some you can say some phenomena, or you're observing some effect of the study, you are having a bias where during the detection only you are leaving out something, you are undermining its influence, you are overestimating, or you're over constructing the influence of it. That is an observer bias. So what is the difference between personal bias and observer bias is personal bias may or may not be during the study. It may be just in your mind, and it will reflect while you are preparing the report. Observation bias is strictly during the research process only. Like, let's say, personal bias may you do not like eggs, so you are, let's say, undermining its influence while writing the report. Observer bias may, if you have given a diet which consists of, let's say, rice, boiled egg, and dal, you would write, or let's say, you would think that the increased immunity has a lot to do with rice and dal, but very negligible, negligible amount of egg. You will not totally omit it, but you will not consider its influence while the study is still going on. Okay, so that is an observer bias. Then next is expectancy bias. Okay, 1 moment, I'll write it down. You'll hardly come across any other book. Expectancy bias.
मैम
What is expectancy bias?
मैम
Sometimes, हाँ,
मैम जब पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन में एक
one
रिसर्चर
moment,
को
one,
एक
हाँ, till now.
जी जी मैम। मैम जब एक पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन में एक रिसर्चर होता है ना मैम, वो एक फिनोमेना को मेजर करने की कोशिश करता है। मैम अगर वो एक पर्टिकुलर सेक्ट या कल्ट में कुछ देखता है मैम, वहाँ पे कुछ वो चीज़ें ऑब्जर्व करता है मैम, फिर वो चीज़ें रिपोर्ट नहीं करता है, वो हाइड करता है मैम, वो भी उसको कहा जाएगा कि ये ऑब्जर्वर बायस है मैम?
Yes, the observer bias cannot happen without personal bias, number one. But
ओके।
observer bias is strictly during the course of the study, course of the research.
स्टडी।
Personal biases,
जी जी।
it can be there, but it might be present in the behavior or while discussing the report or actually writing it. So what you are saying is a very good example of observer bias. Yes, he will just not report it, or he will just undermine it while the study is still going on.
मैम ऑल्दो उनका पर्सनली तो कुछ नहीं है, वो जानते नहीं है, ना ही कोई पर्सनल व्यूज है, बट उनको सिर्फ बोला है कि आप ऑब्जर्व कीजिए और आप रिपोर्ट कीजिए बस, विदाउट योर सब्जेक्टिव
नहीं, नहीं,
एक्सपीरियंस।
नहीं,
मगर कभी कभी कुछ कुछ वो छोड़
if
देते
he
हैं रिपोर्ट करने के
if
वक्त।
he's ignorant, that is not a bias. Bias is always that you are affected and you want to you actually don't show it. Okay, that is what the
राइट मैम।
bias is, what you already have it in you, लेकिन उसी के बेसिस पे your behavior is your behavior is dependent on it. बट अगर आपने वो छोड़ दिया, आपको पता ही नहीं है वो हो रहा है, it is just a mistake. We can consider, we will just treat it as a mistake, that's all.
राइट राइट।
Huh. So next we come to expectancy bias. What is expectancy bias? Sometimes we as a researcher want or expect the results to be like this. तो अगर भी रिजल्ट कुछ अलग आता है, हम थोड़ा उसको मैनेज करके लिखते हैं, तो दैट इज एन एक्सपेक्टेंसी बायस. और समटाइम्स वी थिंक वी कंडक्ट द एंटायर रिसर्च, हमने जैसे एक्सपेक्ट किया था वैसे रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहे हैं, तो हमको क्या लगता है, नहीं यार ये शायद मैंने सही से नहीं किया, अगेन आई हैव टू डू दिस. In this process again you redo few aspects, or you redo the entire process. So that is an expectancy bias. You expect something to happen, and that is how you carry out the research also in that line. That is expectancy bias. Then last it is a placebo bias. Some people call it as a placebo, some also call it as a placebo. So however you are comfortable, you can pronounce it that way. So since for a majority of the time, for 5 years in my college, I called it a placebo, and for 2 years in my post-graduation, I called it as a placebo. So now I prefer to call it a placebo. So you can call it whatever you want. So what is a placebo? Placebo is basically a dormant thing, or something which is sleeping, okay, or something which is non-observable, something which is not active, anything. You can tell, you can consider anything out of these. So इसमें क्या होता है, सपोज एक रिसर्च हमको करना है कि ये जो मेडिसिन है, सपोज मेडिसिन एक्स क्योर्स स्ट्रेस, ओके. तो हम क्या करते हैं, दो ग्रुप्स बना लेते हैं, एक को एक्चुअली मेडिसिन एक्स देते हैं और दूसरे को बोलते हैं कि ये मेडिसिन एक्स है, लेकिन हम उनको दे देते हैं एक शुगर पिल या फिर कोई एक नॉर्मल विटामिन कैप्सूल और समथिंग लाइक दैट. और हम जब 1 महीने के बाद में विल एक्चुअली हम जब एक्चुअली चेक करते हैं, विल सी that all those people who are having capsule X or medicine X, they have actually report considerably less amount of stress. But on the other hand, even the people in the second group, they are also showing considerably less stress. So many a times what happens, due to your positive thinking or due to the positive thinking of the effect of the medicine or your own willpower also, जो चीज आप खाते हैं और वो एक्चुअली में भी मेडिसिन नहीं होता, इट वर्क्स ऑन यू. ओके, सो यू वुड सी मेनी अ टाइम्स, स्पेशली अगर आप कोई रिलीजियस बुक्स पढ़ते हैं, तो उसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे चीजें होती हैं कि कोई लोग मड से, जो मिट्टी है, मिट्टी से दे कैन एक्चुअली ट्रीट सम डिजीजेस. समटाइम्स देयर इज सम वाटर इन अ वेल एंड दैट एक्चुअली क्योर्स योर eyesight issues and all. So a lot of placebo actually works behind it, because somebody who would just tell you that eat this and you will see kal se you will not have any headache, and you are thinking, you are just positively thinking about it, yes, if I eat this it will not give me any headache. Your mind also subconsciously starts working on it, and it develops a positivity in you, and really you will see that there is considerably less headache. Again, the opposite also happens. If somebody just tells you कि don't do this, otherwise this will bring bad luck, and आप वही सोचते आ रहे हो, then actually, bad things start to happen. Many people have named it as law of attraction. Some people have named it as power of the subconscious. Some people have named it as, positive thinking, positive thoughts, whatever it is. But the thing is that human mind is so powerful that whatever you feed it, it will also react in the same way. Okay. So when people in the placebo group were actually told that this is a medicine that you are being given and this will lead to good effects, or this will lead to less stress in you, they actually created a very positive note for themselves, or they created a very positive um, environment for themselves. The mind also actually bred positivity, and that is why you would see that in the placebo group also many people actually report lower stress level. Okay, so this is the placebo bias. Then they're talking of context of justification. So what is the context of justification? When you are actually trying to justify this is not a bias, this is just they're talking of what is context of justification. Suppose you are actually trying while you're conducting a research, आप उसको justify भी करते हो on various contexts, how this is going to be helpful in the future. When I did this, what are the other things that I came. So basically you explain the entire purpose and meaning of the research. You justify that to the other psychologists or other people who are interested in it or who want to conduct a further study on it. So that is context of justification. Now next we come to
बोलेंगे मैम
हाँ, yes, क्या बोल रहा है? Yes, you saying something?
जी मैम, इसे जो आप अभी समझा रहे थे मैम, इसे हम डिब्रीफिंग बोल सकते हैं मैम कि डिब्रीफिंग अलग कोई चीज है?
नहीं, डीब्रीफिंग, हाँ, डीब्रीफिंग और ये ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही है, बट देन हियर कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ जस्टिफिकेशन दे आर सेइंग इन द सेंस दैट in every stage, if they have to explain, if you have to explain as a researcher why you took this up, and you have to be very elaborative, then you give justification for every stage. That is what they are saying. And debriefing is if you are explaining the entire research in one stage, right? So although it is debriefing, but आप सोचो if debriefing is done at every stage, that would lead to context of justification.
All right मैम, thank you.
Ma'am, but debriefing happens to participants, right?
Yes, debriefing. She's just asking that if it is in the same process as we follow. जैसे हम लोग debriefing तो हम participants को ही करेंगे, और यहाँ पे context of justification is for the other researchers who are going to follow it. But what she means is जिस तरह से we take up, the reason why this is carried out, why the next procedure will be followed, why this design is done. So this is how she is. What I understood from her question is she's trying to say जिस तरह से we justify. In minor terms, also is context of justification the same or not? Is the same thing you're asking, Bareen, right?
Yes ma'am, you got my point.
Yes, okay. So ठीक है, next we come to scientific attitudes and values associated with research process. Okay, so first thing that they are saying is that many a times while we are conducting, or the scientists are conducting a research, they can have a very skeptical attitude. Okay, so what is a skeptical attitude? Skeptical is when you are not sure whether it will be right or wrong. Okay, you are in a what do you say, crossroad, or when you are in a मिड पॉइंट, आपको नहीं पता चल रहा है सही होगा नहीं होगा. ठीक है, सो स्केप्टिकल होते हैं लोग. लेकिन दे आर सेइंग लाइक लेट्स से आपने वो रिसर्च कर लिया, after research there should be no secrecy in the research process that was adopted. Okay, so any type of secrecy is not allowed, and transparency has to be maintained throughout the research process. Only then the future researchers who want to take up some notes from this, or who wants to replicate this study, can do so very openly and do so without much difficulty. Okay, so this was one. Next they are saying what are the objectivity safeguards in research process. So there has to be some safeguards in research. Okay, so what are those safeguards in research process? So number one is procedural safeguards. What is procedural safeguards? You follow step by step, you follow all the processes. So that is basically a safeguard. अगर आप कोई भी process छोड़ देंगे, आप उसको follow नहीं करेंगे, कोई formula put नहीं करेंगे, या statistics में कुछ छोड़ देंगे, so that is actually going to work against the spirit of your research. So you have to follow all the procedures properly. That is a procedural safeguard. And second is standardization. What is standardization? If you are having a sample on whom you are conducting the study or you are conducting the research, you have to treat each one in the sample similarly. You have to give them the same treatment. You have to treat them uniformly, and also you have to provide them with all the environment of research in a like in a uniform way. मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे sample में अगर 50 बच्चे हैं तो and let's say I like 5 or 6 of them, तो मैं उनको ज्यादा प्रायोरिटी दूंगी और बाकी लोगों को नहीं दूंगी, राइट? या फिर लेट्स से मैं किसी को अच्छे रूम में बिठाऊंगी, किसको अच्छे रूम में नहीं बिठाऊंगी. सो आई कैन नॉट डू ऑल दैट. आई हैव टू ट्रीट each one of them equally, and I have to provide uniform testing conditions for all of them, or uniform testing measurements or measurement of जो भी वैल्यू हम कर रहे हैं उसका measurement etc. Everything has to be uniform. That is standardization. Then we come to something known as operationalization. Okay, what is operationalization? Operationalization is आप concepts को उसी तरह से ही use करें जिस तरह से it has been used by all researchers. Like let's say we are talking of intelligence. So what is an operational definition of intelligence? Operational definition of intelligence is to think rationally, okay, act purposefully, adapt to the environment, adjust with the environment. Then it can be quantified in terms of an IQ. Now मैंने जितने भी चीजें बोले, almost every researcher will agree on this. So it is a standardized definition now, which is otherwise known as operational definition. Okay, something जिसे आप actually एक value में भी put in कर सकते हैं, and it will be common for all the researchers who are researching on this field, okay, or on this concept. That is an operational definition. And last में they are saying one thing that you have to keep in mind, that we have to avoid any kind of bias. आपको हर टाइप का बायस जो है वो अवॉइड करना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर आप कोई भी बायस आपके रिसर्च में क्रीप इन कर जाता है या एंटर कर जाता है, देन इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू एक्चुअली control the final conclusion, or control the way it will go on, or very difficult to actually arrive at a correct solution to see whether your hypothesis is true or your hypothesis is false, etc. So these were the objectivity safeguards. Number one, the procedural safeguards, that is to follow the procedures properly. Second, to have a standardized environment testing procedures, etc. To have a good understanding and operational definition. And fourth is to avoid any kind of biases. So these things are important. अच्छा, so उसके बाद we have steps in research process. This is a pretty long one, and since it's new, I think it's better we take up tomorrow. All of you just read, आज हमने जितना किया, just read it once. Also you read steps in research process. Tomorrow we'll do steps in research process and reliability and validity. Reliability and validity is not a long chapter. I think we'll be able to finish. So tomorrow we'll do steps in research process and reliability and validity. So thank you everybody. And next उसके बाद next day, that tomorrow is what, Friday. Okay, Friday we'll do steps in research in second chapter. Saturday we'll do variables and constructs. Yes. Then उसके बाद we'll see.
Ma'am.
हाँ.
Ma'am, before going, please explain once again subliminal perception.
See, subliminal perception is anything that is happening beyond your threshold. Okay, अगर मैं आपको एक चीज दिखाती हूँ, focus बोलती हूँ, you focus on this. Okay, let's say I show you something and I tell you focus on this. आपने focus किया, then I ask you, आप उसको recall करके बताओ आपने क्या पढ़ा. Suppose the word was Tom and Jerry always fight. ये मैंने आपको actually दिखाया कि आप ये देखो, आपने देखा उसको 2 seconds या 5 seconds. फिर मैंने आपको पूछा, अच्छा क्या था वो सेंटेंस में, then you say that Tom and Jerry always fight. So this is a very direct way of perception. लेकिन जब मैं दिखा रही हूँ आपको Tom and Jerry fight, I keep flashing that violence is bad. I flash it once. फिर मैंने आपको और एक सेंटेंस दिखाया something, फिर मैंने फिर से वो फ्लैश किया, violence is bad. तो अगर मैंने 5 सेंटेंस दिखाया प्रॉपरली फोकस करके, और ये बैकग्राउंड में इट वाज फ्लैशिंग, तो ये 6 स्टेटमेंट हुआ. एंड देन आई आस्क यू कि आपने कितने सेंटेंसेस देखे, प्लीज रिपीट. तो अगर आप ऐसे बोलते हो कि मैंने 5 ही सेंटेंस देखे, that means this message which was actually going on an under threshold level, it could not reach you. लेकिन अगर आप बोलते हो मैंने 5 सेंटेंस अच्छे से देखे, बट कुछ तो आई सॉ, इट वाज समथिंग अबाउट वायलेंस प्रोबेबली, या कुछ तो ऐसा स्टेटमेंट था ऑन वायलेंस, that means it did reach you but not properly. But if you can actually recall that statement and say that I saw 5 statements properly and one statement which talked that violence is not a good thing or violence is bad, that means you actually perceived that message subliminally without your awareness, without in your proper threshold. Okay, so that is what is subliminal perception.
मैम और पर्सनल बायस और ऑब्जर्वर इफेक्ट और एक बार प्लीज मैम एक्सप्लेन कीजिए इनमें डिफरेंस में।
Ma'am,
दोनों में आप कह रहे थे।
adding to that thing, so basically I have read about observer bias and the fact that these people have in our books expectancy bias, it's somehow the same. What they say.
No. Expectancy bias is different. Expectancy bias is whatever you are expecting the research would, yield, or whatever you are thinking that, it should go as per your expectation. That is expectancy bias. Observer bias is whatever you are, detecting, or whatever, जब आप detect कर रहे हो कुछ during the process of observing and recording, अगर आप कुछ रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हो इन्फॉर्मेशन या आप कुछ ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो और आप उसको अंडरमाइन कर जाते हो, इग्नोर कर जाते हो जानबूझ के, दैट इज ऑब्जर्वर बायस. इट इज नॉट द सेम थिंग. इट इज डेफिनेटली नॉट द सेम थिंग.
Just one question here. In the observer bias, if it is data based, how will there be a bias?
No, if it is database, it will not be in the data then. It will be in the procedure then. Okay, like let's say for example, if ek to data, whatever is objective, you can never have a bias. The bias actually comes which is subjective. So procedure of data collection mein you can have a bias. Let's say you have आपने sample collect किया है of 50 students और आपको लग रहा है कि probably जो last बच्चा था उसने ठीक से आंसर नहीं किया है. Okay, this happens with many researchers also. अगर वो questionnaire पे आंसर कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, sometimes what they will do, they will even उन्होंने जिसको भी no किया होगा उसको भी वो लोग yes करके they will take the data. This happens. So that kind of bias is an observer bias. Getting my point? Like let's say
expectancy bias, man. But it feels the same thing. Actually,
no, it is,
bias तो वो sample में हुआ ना. In that case तो the observer has a choice to go to the next sample.
he has the sample, but he does not do because he's having a bias. What does bias mean? Bias means you already have a preconceived notion. Okay, so it is not possible where things are objective. It is only possible where things are subjective. It is number one. Number two, what is observer bias is where you are actually trying to undermine or trying to not consider, okay, the effect, let's say the effect during the study or the course. But what is expectancy bias? Expectancy bias is, suppose let's say I'm suppose I have asked, I'm asking a few people to answer a question. Okay, अगर वो लोग जानबूझ के if they don't know also, I'm poking them. नहीं ये भी बोलो. Do you feel like this? Do you suppose there is nothing to be asked about sleep? I'm just asking about stress, let's say. But also since मैं expect कर रही हूँ कि not sleeping leads to stress, I will poke and answer. अच्छा, this happens ना because you don't sleep well on time. This happens ना when you don't sleep, you actually have headache, then it leads to stress, है ना? ऐसा होता है ना? That is expectancy bias. You are expecting कि they will answer like this, or you are expecting कि this should happen. Right, so it is definitely not the same.
Ma'am, ma'am, इनमें please एक बार difference repeat कीजिए. I forgot what is the difference between personal and observer bias, ma'am.
See, personal bias is what biases you have. It is in you. It does not have to reflect in the study. It is basically before the beginning of the study. And observer bias is, it is during the measurement or during the observing or recording of information, what bias you have as an observer, that is the observer bias. Okay.
All right.
It is almost the same, but one is before the study, one is during the study.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, अगर हमें कोई ड्यूटी दी जाती है कि आप एनिमल्स का बिहेवियर और ये थोड़ा बहुत आप लोग यू हैव टू ऑब्जर्व एनालाइज, बट मेरा हम बोलते हैं कि मेरा फेवरेट एनिमल ये है, तो मैं ऐसा करूंगी कि मुझे लगेगा कि अग्रेसिवली वॉलेंटली वो बिहेव कर रहा है वो एनिमल, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मंकी, बट आई विल नॉट राइट इन माई रिपोर्ट। मैम कैन इट बी लेबलाइज्ड कैटेगराइज्ड कि यहाँ पे पर्सनल बायस है, क्योंकि ये मेरा फेवरेट एनिमल था और मुझे बोला भी गया था इसी के बारे में रिपोर्ट करने के लिए, मतलब इत्तेफाकन इसी के बारे में, मगर मैंने छुपाया, मैंने बोला नो, वायलेंटली बिहेव नहीं किया, अच्छे से बिहेव किया। वहां पे भी तो मैं डेटा को थोड़ा मॉडिफाई कर रही हूँ ना इन सेंस, क्योंकि मुझे पर्सनल बायस है।
मैंने
जी
एग्जैक्टली वही चीज बोला था कि ऑब्जर्वर बायस कैन नॉट हैपन विदाउट पर्सनल बायस।
जी मैम, पर्सनल जरूरी होना है इसमें।
अगर आप वो चीज को अपने स्टडी में शो करते हो, आप उसको ड्यूरिंग ऑब्जर्विंग और रिपोर्टिंग में नहीं दिखाते हो, या फिर आप उसको फज करते हो, मैनिपुलेट करते हो, दैट इज इटसेल्फ ऑब्जर्वेबल। दैट्स व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई टोल्ड व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड।
दैट मींस पर्सनल जरूरी है, इट्स
पर्सनल
इम्पोर्टेंट कि
नहीं है,
पर्सनल।
हाँ बिल्कुल, अगर आपके पास पर्सनल नहीं है तो हाउ दैट्स गोइंग टू रिफ्लेक्ट व्हाइल यू आर डूइंग द स्टडी।
जी जी मैम। मैम अगर कभी कभार पर्सनल भी नहीं हो फिर भी हम छोड़ देते हैं, मैम उसको क्या कहेंगे?
उसको मिस्टेक कहेंगे।
जी मैम, हम कभी ऐसा भी होता है ना, हमें पर्सनली नहीं होता है, पर हम फिर भी छोड़ देते हैं, कुछ
छोड़
ग्रज
देते
नहीं होता है।
बिकॉज आपको
जी
लगता है कि वो बहुत इनसिग्निफिकेंट है, मे बी यू आर थिंकिंग, बट देन
मैम
but then
जी
that is
मैम।
not a good quality of a good research then, because you have to be very honest in whatever you are finding out. कभी कभी हमको लगता है कि ये बहुत इनसिग्निफिकेंट सी चीज है, शायद इसको रिपोर्ट करना जरूरी भी नहीं है, बट वो
जरूरी
इतना
नहीं। जी
नहीं होगा। लाइक दैट व्हिच आई टोल्ड अबाउट द कंपाउंड और ऑफ द इंग्रेडिएंट एक्स, जो मे बी अगर हम उतने केयरफुल नहीं होते, हम जान भी नहीं पाते कि दिस इज द सेम थिंग दैट इज यूज्ड इन एवरी चिल्ड्रन प्रोडक्ट व्हिच मेक्स द चाइल्ड इरिटेबल।
जी मैम। जी
राइट, हाँ,
जी।
फरा वाज सेइंग समथिंग। हाँ फरा से।
Ma'am, I'm really sorry to come back to the same thing, but I was reading many books, and one of the books is by this Sondra K. Cisadeli, and then other thing also. They have almost compared observer bias with the expectancy bias. They have said observer expectancy effect, something something that kind of stuff. So,
Okay, kindly share the screenshot of that. Let me just go through once.
okay, ma'am. Yeah,
Please do that. Yes. Okay.
I'll share that in the group.
You can share in the group. You can share it to me as well directly. Whatever suits
Okay,
you.
okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow at 6:15. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.